what a performance coming out from Spawn and the rest of Dignitas. A performance so good that we actually have to change our halftime segment as fast as possible. That's some good stuff coming out here, Rafa. Are you okay? Are you okay?
No, sorry.
Reeling.
I was replying to a tweet talking about how awesome Dignitas played that early game. I was telling Josh off camera that was one of the best like early game on the fly path things I've ever seen. So that just honestly,
Mark's still reeling from the post-game clarity, right? He's still trying to process everything that we saw over the course of that entire game. Again, XU had a great start. It started off with some really cool level 1s, and then he didn't really let up the brakes. Shade never found a way into the game.
All right, moving on from that. Let's get started with our halftime show segment, which we have another episode of Academy Presents. Rafa, we got to do this on Wednesday with Cubby, but Joshi, a little new. And just for anyone who's, maybe just tuning in, I'm going to go over it real quickly. I'm going to give both of our casters a prompt one by one, and then put up a little slideshow for them, and they're going to sit here and give us a presentation.
All right.
Whether it goes against their beliefs or not, I do not care. Rafa got to find this one out the hard way. You're getting paid for your presentations here, people, not your casting, okay?
All right. It's debate club all over again. Okay.
Oh. I was like,
we're back.
We're good. We're good. So, Joshi, we're going to start with you and your prompt, which we actually changed because the performance.
Oh, okay.
Wait, this is all right, Rafa, this isn't what we agreed on. But
it's okay.
This is fine.
It fits based on how game 1 occurred.
It's true.
Okay.
It's also a good performance, so I'm not going to dock you points from that. But Joshi, this is going to be your presentation. Are you ready?
Do I start now or do I start when I see the first slide?
When you see the first slide.
You can start off your presentation, warm up a little bit, and I'll bring up the first slide when good. Okay?
Lawrence XU Shu is already the best player that we've seen in all of Academy and has been ever since he came in. While he had a little bit of slump towards the beginning of the summer, it makes it so easy for him to go around the rest of the game. It's not even the ability for him to just beat up his lane opponent. He beats up everybody else's for it, and it makes everybody else's lane look even better. He goes to the bottom lane. He gets opportunities. He's able to pick Yuumi for every single one of his teammates. You thought it was hard to win a game when there's one Yuumi on the other team? Imagine what happens when XU has 4 Yuumis, 4 kittens riding on top of him the entire time. But it's not just that. He's able to play in a variety of different ways. He has a controller. I've seen him play with a Guitar Hero guitar. He plays with his feet. It doesn't matter. He makes all the other junglers look like they don't know how to play it the rest of the game. But the important thing you gotta remember, this guy, you gotta make sure he doesn't get fed. Cloud9 learned that the hard way this time. Do not feed the animal, because it's not just Mr. Beast's YouTube channel that you gotta be afraid of. When we see this beast coming out on the Rift, XU is ready to go. You give him anything you could possibly ask for, and he's going to carry. He's going to take you to LCS, and by the end of 2023, he will be the entire league LCS MVP. A real winner of everything we've seen. You're welcome.
Incredible. Josh is so good at this game. I did not expect him to take that prompt so well. Wow.
I'm sitting here just nodding damn.
Right. I believe it. I believe it. Now, have I actually seen XU play with a Guitar Hero controller? I'm not sure, but it sounds confident about it.
I want to after this and after your presentation. I thoroughly believe. Okay.
There we go.
Rafa, I'm glad you got the prompt of your dreams for that one, because I don't know if you're going to like the one you're getting back in return. Your presentation on the things that don't age well is why you're breaking up with XU and marrying Shaden instead.
Oh, no!
It's important to remember, we gave these prompts before we had seen the first game.
Oh,
but
man.
You still have to give a convincing presentation because it is your job to do so. All right?
Oh, dude, Lawrence is going to hate me after this. Okay. Well, all right. My presentation on why I'm breaking up with Lawrence XU Shu. and marrying Shaden. I don't know his full name yet, but I will soon. Well, Cloud9 is clearly the best team in the world. Yes, they dropped this one game, but, you know, lose is improve. And Cloud9 are still ramping up. They have just brought in Shaden. They just brought in King and Destiny. So this team has yet to reach their peak form. See, that dog, the excitement on that ball, that is all the Cloud9 fans waiting in anticipation for how this team will truly ramp up by the end of the Academy split. And we already know, we've seen glimpses of brilliance, and we know that Cloud9 is going to be making some serious bank once the team fully comes together. Because remember, Shaden is a rookie coming in straight from solo queue, but he's already shown that he is being a facilitator, and he's not being the super resource-intensive jungler that we always see him kind of hallmarked out to be. The other thing that I have to mention, too, is that Shaden has some insane trash talk, which is what makes him the greatest. I think in one of his recent interviews, there's someone that was trying to compare, say, like, hey, what do you think about this jungler that always tries to, like, banter with you? It's like, I don't even pay attention because they're trash. They're garbage. And I was like, wow, like that confidence. I mean, that might just send me on the next vacation. I have to call all my investors to put some money down and invest into Cloud9 stonks, man. I mean, Cubby already knows. He's been invested into the Shaden legacy since day one, and now I know why that he has been invested as well. I also believe in Shaden's future. Thank you.
Sounds like Mark's a gold digger.
How dare you? Hello? I had to sell that presentation! Lawrence, please know that that was just because it was part of the job.
It's what you gotta do, but there you go, right? Shaden coming through. It wasn't his best showing out on the Rift, but both the junglers kind of showcasing a little bit of what they're able to do. I feel like XU definitely got the better of it. Spawn definitely got the better of King, but that's what happens when you just have this great plan to start the game. You just find an early kill, and it really looked like it shook Cloud9 to their core.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know what I was really expecting coming into this matchup for today, but yeah, it wasn't that. It wasn't that. And I mean, we talked about teams that were doing pretty good after the break, and that Dignitas maybe earlier on in the week, maybe we can make a case for it not being them. But I think after today, Rafa, you can definitely make that case now.
Yeah, we have been tracking XU for quite some time in the amateur system. I've known him since the collegiate days back in 2019. He was one of the first collegiate junglers I ever casted for when I first started my esports casting career, which is why I have a very close relationship with him, as I've just been being a big fan of his progress and coming into Academy in his debut year. His debut split was spring with Dignitas, and, you know, I think it just goes to show that XU is already a person capable of showing extreme amount of growth in such a short amount of time.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, we even just, the clips that we have from this first match, when you get a highlight reel from the first match, you have enough stuff, you know it's a good... Okay, that's definitely a way to start it. Not what I was expecting, Joshi, but I mean...
No, copy.
Copy.
Oh, this isn't my coronation.
That hurts even just a little bit more, the little dance into certain death, Joshi.
True. It's just a rough spot for Copy to be in, right? You don't typically expect that much of a concerted effort towards finding a pick at level 1, but that's what we're seeing coming out from Dignitas. They have a lot of early game plans. It looks like they have a great idea of how to actually play these kind of things out. And seeing that Spawn was one of the big recipients of some of these early plays really allowed him to take off, while not all the team fights were things that allowed him to showcase how good of an aggressive player he's become. We got to see he was constantly dancing around. He was doing so much damage, and sometimes you don't need to do anything fancy if you're just going to be winning anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just bluff at that point. If you can just close it out in a strong fashion, that's its own style instead, you know, Rafa?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even Cloud9 trying to find ways to get back into the game, you have to give props over that they made attempts. Once you are down past 10,000 gold, that is usually the point of no return. And you're just down so far behind in terms of overall combat stats that even when making a 3-on-1 pick onto someone like Lissandra, it's already hard enough when you're even. So you already know that it's more than likely going to be a doomed attempt. But the fact that Cloud9 still try, knows and shows their persistence and shows their optimism, which you know, when we go back to talk about Cloud9, I think some of the things that about their break week that went so well for them, we've gotten word that Cloud9 have a lot of fun outside of the game. They hang out a lot. I think, I don't remember who recently got a car on the Cloud9 Academy squad, but they've just been driving around. Yeah, Darshan recently. And so he's just been taking the boys out. You know, they have... think they go get food together, they watch movies together, and they're always just having a good time. And I think that fun atmosphere we Dignitas for during the spring split, and I think that is going to continue helping Cloud9 grow. Yes, this is a great win for Dignitas, tough loss for Cloud9, but it's still a best-of-2 series. There's time for adaptation, and we're still halfway through the Academy split. So, as we said before, loses improve, and Cloud9, I think they have the attitude necessary to bounce back and continue moving forward, right?
Yeah, I like how you say, like, oh, the fun atmosphere is good stuff, but Dignitas didn't post their fun. We're about to head into our game's tweet today, which normally we come to expect from them. They're they're straight to business. No horsing around, no playing around, no team bonding. This is serious League Joshi.
It's very rare that we don't get it. We had both days previously this week, but for the first time, Dignitas, they don't post and they just take Cloud9 and don't really look back. It was a great showing in their first game.
Very curious stuff. I don't know. I'm a little superstitious, so we'll see how that pans out later on. But they have to take a second victory first. It's time to head into Champion Sector's second game to see if Cloud9 can bounce back or if this is going to be Dignitas all the way, baby.
If Dignitas can manage to get a 2-0 here, Sierra. Josh, also by Sierra, we'll see you at the end of the series. This would be huge for them because not only this allows them to break back into the, I think, top 4, top 3 of the standings, but this would give the argument that Dignitas do deserve to be at least in contention for top 5, maybe even top 4.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely in the top 5 right now. I definitely have them pegged for the team that is kind of just behind CLG in my personal power rankings. But this is also, if Dignitas win, it really makes my hot take that will show up later today look kind of dumb. So yeah, I'm kind of praying for my own analytical prowess that Cloud9 does actually bring this one back. That didn't feel like Cloud9 really came into that one on all cylinders. And Dignitas, they had a great early game plan. They were able to execute on it. But Cloud9, we expect this team to be one of, if not the best team by the time we actually get to Proving Grounds, and they're going to run it back so far.
And look at this. Cloud9, the only change they make is they give up the Wukong ban to take away JJ's Renata. They're very well aware that Spawn could run back the Callista, but they're not as much concerned about the Marksman champion as the support pairing made it extremely difficult for the Lucian Nami to thrive.
Ooh, and we're going to be seeing a potentially very different version of Dignitas' bottom lane if the Senate does get locked in, and it does come through. Now, we do know that typically this is paired up with something like a Tahm Kench for most teams, and JJ is no exception, but it really puts a very different spin on the way that Dignitas is going to be trying to play the bottom lane. Now, they're not necessarily going to be fighting fire on fire.
Now, I think we've seen Spawn do a Yasuo Senna setup before, if I'm not mistaken.
We have, yes.
We have a Wukong
I don't
already
know
locked
if
in.
I would want to do that into the Lucian Nami, per se, but it is an opportunity for them. They already have the Wukong. The Yasuo can come through here. But as a melee champion, yeah, there we go. Tahm Kench is a little bit more sustained, makes a little bit more sense, but I've seen wilder things. I've seen great drafts where the Tahm Kench ends up going top lane. It's still very playable there. So it's not completely out of the woods, but Dignitas definitely implying that the Tahm Kench is going to be going towards the bottom side. And this, I feel, gives over a lot to King and Destiny and gives them a big opportunity to really push the Dignitas bottom lane around.
Yeah, this will be a double range advantage versus just the one range for Dignitas Academy, so they'll have the push advantage. All-ins you still got to be careful about, though, because if you overextend too far against like a Tahm Kench, and as soon as he lands the first Tongue Lash or the first Abyssal Dive, then it is lights out for either Lucian or Nami, apart from burning summoner spells. I do want to see what they round out the composition with, because the fact that Cloud9 have two sustainable frontliners in Tahm Kench being a dedicated tank, and then of course Wukong will be bruiser-like, this opens up Insanity and Hoon to take more damage options in their own right.
Yeah. And we saw Hoon, great game on the Vladimir. I want to see more of this carry performances coming through from the top side of the map. Insanity was, you know, he did a lot of defensive plays last game, but the aggressive plays are what we need to see. Lissandra is great at performing kind of both roles, and I feel like Insanity has been one of the players like Spyrex, like Soligo, that have had a lot of success on this Lissandra. He needs to be able to pick off some of these short-range targets, and I mean, if this Victor gets locked in, doesn't end up getting locked in. We'll talk about it later.
Debated.
But we do see an Ornn. Darshan, I'll be honest, I don't think I see him play this very often.
Yeah, well, it's been a hot minute since Darshan has played a tank on stage. I know Darshan has had some great games in the spring split on the Scion, if you remember the cross map unstoppable onslaught where he just nailed 3 people, instantly popped them. Great moment for spring split. Darshan taking up the mantle of the tank, which now means Hoon gets the counter pick, and he is going for the split push option.
Yeah, the Camille has definitely kind of fallen off in popularity rather hard in terms of what we're actually seeing up in the top lane. It's not an easily winning matchup for sure. It's definitely an opportunity, and Ornn still very strong, can still definitely do a lot of damage to Camille early in this game. But the lane matchup that I really like is Compi going with the Victor into the Lissandra. It gives him a lot of opportunities to be a big bully. They have a strong 2v2, and Victor, when he has a strong level 1 through 3, can really take over a lot of these games because he doesn't necessarily have a whole lot that he needs to worry about. He'll build a Zonia as probably his 3rd item, and suddenly the dive coming in from Hoon and XU is much less intimidating.
And the other boon for Compi this game, apart from Spawn eventually getting more range, this is a relatively this is 4 melees or just 4 incredibly short-ranged champions from Dignitas. So that's a moment where Victor really gets to thrive in controlling space, giving windows where King can be able to find pockets that he can safely dash forward, get some bursts of damage in before he is able to retreat back out, because it's going to be incredibly imperative for Cloud9 to protect their backline this time around.
And so we have a pretty solid draft from both sides. I actually feel like it's not decided early on in the game. We definitely need to see them play, but the players that I want to look at, once again, turning our attention towards the bottom lane, King and Destiny, they got put in a bad position in last game. Now they need to show why we're giving them so much praise.
All right, will Cloud9 Academy be able to answer back in the series and tie it up, or will Dignitas sweep Cloud9 Academy? We're loading onto Game 2, and we'll see what the outcome will be.
And we load right back on in. Danny does get his trinket, so we don't have the scoreboard bug. Let's go. League of Legends working correctly this time around. But Cloud9, what? It doesn't happen all that often.
You're right. Also, I was getting a sip of water, so it just a light chuckle.
You know, you gotta take a bit of sniff. How does the water smell?
I don't think I've ever had water that smelled different than just water, Josh. If the water smells
need to go to the sea more often.
Oh, okay. Well, like, yeah, sea, like sea salt, that's different. But I'm just saying, like, normal drinking water. If the water that you're drinking smells different, I think we have a problem.
Yeah. Did you know that some other animals can smell water?
Really?
Yeah. It does have a smell. We just don't have, like, the nose receptors to actually pick up on it. But Dignitas now as they come back out onto the Rift. We are seeing neither bottom lane going for a leash. I'm crossing my fingers and hoping we get a fight.
Do it. Fight. Oh, they're battling for vision control. Can they get it in time? One more auto attack. Boom. Okay, well, that results in no one getting wards into the bush. And JJ brute forces his way into the bush.
Alright, well, that's not quite the fight I was hoping for, but it still does mean that both teams will be trying to jockey for this early game play, trying to find that level 2. And I'm kind of expecting, because XU didn't get a huge advantageous lead off of the level 1, he's not going to have the same kind of freedom to just bully Shaden around in the game. Shaden will definitely have an opportunity to be more aggressive and showcase some of the fantastic plays he's had around getting a specific lane ahead.
And he's also on a champion that fits more of what we had expectations for Shaden coming into the beginning of the split. This is a champion that you get the burst damage from other members on your team, and he has great skirmishing potential. Looking for resets, and it's a champion that Shaden can really show why he was scouted in the first place and had so much hype around him being brought into the Academy system.
And he's also a player that is surrounded by, either strong rookies or people with a long legacy. But XU, don't think he got spotted. He's going for a 3-camp into gank.
The stun from Insanity does not come through, but it's the immediate flash from Copy out of respect. XU and Insanity can always look for a round 2 gank, maybe after Insanity gets a chance to reset and is healthier.
But this is one of the things that we've been watching XU, and sometimes I've had to criticize him for, right? Look at the fact he's already 2 camps behind. Viego already coming to challenge him for blue.
And this time, XU is not as secretive about where he's going to go. Crossing mid lane, you only have one place to be, and it is in the bot side. But XU good on the smite.
Whoa.
Shaden is not able to deny the blue buff away from XU. Cloud9, though, still giving pressure over to Dignitas, forcing them away from the crab. This at least gives them river control.
It also denies a couple minions from Spawn and JJ, so the Souls will be ever so slightly behind where they were going to be previously. But XU, he goes for a lot of these plays, right? He's one of those players that will mix up how many camps he's going to do before he goes for the first gank. And this time around, Shaden committing to the farming. Ooh, okay.
What did he do?
He hookshot off of the pillar.
Oh! Very cool.
Yeah. It didn't matter a whole lot, but, he's showing he's paying attention to the game.
I was paying attention to the minimap, so that's
respect.
That's on me.
That is okay.
Well,
he's got a fantastic lane position. He's got a health advantage. This becomes a very dangerous position for Darshan, and we've praised Darshan historically for his great early games, his great level 1s, and his optimizing around playing around that. And Hoon is besting him.
I think it's just a nice surprise that Dignitas are putting so much faith and trust into Hoon. It goes to show that, hey, if Dignitas wanted to bring in this top laner from the TCL, you might as well give him the resources, give him the faith and the confidence that, hey, what do you want to play here? This is an all-out 1v1. Shaden comes in. Quick flash from Hoon, and a lot of turret shots from XU. He has flash. He can go for another couple flurry of strikes if he can get into range. XU! Oh my god, that was sick! Flashing away from the root, goes back in with the Nimbus strike. XU, you are a beast, my dude!
Great stuff coming through. Looking like Bradley yesterday, flashing away from all of the small outplays, and he finds it yet again.
Oh,
that was good.
God.
I was worried about Hoon, right? The sweeping quick kick going in the wrong direction, but XU here, he knows he's walking into this huge minion wave. He needs to actually find the play, and the ward allowing him to instantly react to the stun and flashing in a direction that nobody was expecting him to go. Great stuff coming through from XU, showcasing that he is still thinking about the game, and that's what we love to see from these younger players. It allows them to improve so quickly.
I am shook. Oh my god. The fact that XU is really demonstrating and showing up in a matchup where a lot of people, I know especially from the broadcast talent, looking at you, Cubby, saying that, yeah, Shaden is probably the best jungler in the league right now. XU has some words to say about that right now.
True, he's definitely fighting better this game, or this series, and it's definitely been interesting because we've been watching XU throughout the course of summer, and we've been asking, where is the XU from spring? Where is the XU that was beasting on everybody, that we were arguing might be the next, LCS's next top model? This is it. This is what we were looking for.
And the fact that it came from different champions outside of the Lee Sin that we were so used to seeing, even the Graves being the other specialist that he made a name for himself during his collegiate and amateur days when he was on Cloud9 Amateur. I mean, XU always jokes about how, man, it's a shame that Cloud9 didn't trust enough in me to bring me up to their academy system, but every time that he gets a chance to go up to Cloud9, he really cares about making it well demonstrated that, hey, this is what you're missing out on, Cloud9.
Yeah. So good stuff. Shaden, while he does have a 2-camp lead, is now significantly behind in gold. And Hoon, he's been fighting Darshan quite a bit. You notice how aggressive he's being.
Oh, JJ. JJ. He's got great health. was a little spooky there for a second, but Tom Kench keeping his distance here. We are approaching Rift Herald in the next 30 seconds, and Shaden, despite the outplay on the top side, says, you know what, let's make a dive happen onto the bottom side of the map. No Devour yet from JJ because he's still only level 5. Spawn has both sums. JJ has Flash. Culling comes in from King. Peppers them down. Shaden looking for the first reset. Heartbreak in the 1. Gets Spawn, but cannot clean up onto JJ as he answers back.
Good stuff from Spawn, keeping himself alive for longer than was expected. Shaden not actually able to find the first kill, and it ends up being a situation where XU up on the top side is going to be the big winner. Yes, there was a kill that went down, but it was traded back, and XU also going to be picking up the Rift Herald. He can take away the blue buff if he wants to, but Dignitas definitely very happy with the play that Spawn just made.
Yeah, and the fact that Cloud9's dive isn't as clean as they would have liked, they can't ping-pong the advantage right onto Dragon, so they get a cross-map objective advantage. They're behind on tempo as Shaden's already pathed towards the top side of the map. There's an opportunity for Dignitas to rotate their resources over to the Dragon and get the first Dragon off the map as well.
Dignitas with these core plans.
Or, but better yet, just get a kill on the copy, because he cannot escape from the Frozen Tomb. This guarantees the mid-wave push. You can now look for either a Rift Herald charge or just go back into that Dragon Pit as they were planning before.
True. I mean, with Copy off the map, he's not going to be able to participate. Shaden doesn't have his ultimate available. Dignitas just had Spawn hit level 6. Dignitas ready to make this play happen because there's not a whole lot of challenge that Cloud9 can make. Dignitas have been showing how much better they've played ever since Beltbeth was released. XU feels like he's back.
Yeah, and Copy, even if he uses the teleport, he already used the Chaos Storm, so there's nothing that he can contribute to the Dragon fight. Dignitas, once again, the gold lead isn't as massive as game 1, but they are making the right moves to keep themselves ahead in this game too.
As you look at this, again, watch Spawn, how he's able to play. He's able to flash away, and Shaden has to take an extra turret shot, and he doesn't have an opportunity to transform. He doesn't have an opportunity to become the Senna. But this is just very clean. We get the great cinematics to come through, and Copy with no flash from the previous play. Just dead.
But I like this from Cloud. Oh, okay. I was hoping they were going for a kill brush and just looking to take advantage of sums down on a Spawn. But it's King just answering with the culling, trying to force JJ back and put them under pressure. They have been able to take up to 3 turret plates away from the bottom side. But Cloud9 can still look to leverage the advantage from King, because he is technically 20 CS ahead of the farming player in JJ. And with 3 turret plates down, Shaden or even Copy can come for a roam if they really want to drive this advantage.
We saw Shaden go for it, right? I want to see them play towards this bottom lane. I want to see Shaden pick a lane and try and get it ahead, because it just feels like they're kind of bleeding, right? The top lane is not going particularly well. The mid lane, as after giving over that first kill, is kind of struggling a little bit. It feels like Dignitas, while it hasn't bleeded to a gold lead just quite yet, have a lot of small advantages that they can still play with. The one place that Cloud9 is strong is almost ironically Shaden, because he's still up 20 CS, still has a kill, and has his mythic first.
Now, Dignitas are looking to answer back of the pressure that King and Destiny have been putting against JJ and Spawn. Rotating over, clearing out the vision control. It doesn't necessarily mean that they will go right away for the dive, but it will set up for the next time they make this rotate, and Copy is forced to answer back. You gotta be careful about face checking, forced to flash away, and XU and Insanity are all in on that one. Chaos Storm does not stop the play from happening. Shaden looking for a way to get back in, but XU re-engages onto King, onto Destiny, gets the flash out, looking for one more bonk. JJ is going to get the Devour, so he gets the extra shield on top of it. One more Nimbus Strike takes out Destiny, and Dignitas will have to take their lead because it is Shaden who took out Insanity on the other side, looking for re-engages. King finds one on a Spawn, and Cloud9 are ready to answer back.
Okay, and there was also a fight top lane. We didn't get to see who stopped the teleport. He's going back in.
Gets the flash out of Darshan, but he's looking for the big clap. Tactical sweep. Gives Hoon the sustain necessary to walk out of that one. It's still Shaden, still trying to find an answer back. Almost taking out XU, but not enough damage.
It's an all-out brawl. Cloud9 challenging the hands right now of Dignitas. And I can't wait to go back over the replay, Mark, because there's so much that just happened in all of these fights. But at the end of it, big winners. XU, Lawrence, Shu coming through. Cloud9's Shaden finding some kills.
I mean, King still has Flash and Cleanse should be able to get out of this one. The Cleanse comes out, calling, and Flash distances himself away from the threats of Dignitas, and Shaden comes back to play, and he gets the Heartbreak, gets the reset in. He's a big catfish. Dignitas don't want to mess with that one.
At Dignitas, they're overplaying their cards, and Cloud9, that's the third kill that Shaden has picked up. He's starting to become a huge issue, but as this Rift Herald gets dropped in the top side, Hoon should be able to crash it, give a couple of plates over, and that's, you know, a small criticism we can leverage that Dignitas weren't able to capitalize on. They still give over half a kill to Hoon, they give over half a kill to XU as well, but as we watch this play again, Dignitas make a decision here, right? They say we're not going to be fighting this front to back. XU is going to go in for King and Destiny and leave Insanity to die, right? It's a big trade where they need to actually find something on the top side of the fight because they are definitely giving something over. You also notice a teleport started there, but Darshan wasn't able to get into the fight, and I think that play from Hoon, where he almost gave up his life to prevent Ornn from coming in, probably saved the play for Dignitas.
Yeah, it could have been much worse for them, and it could have been catastrophically great for Cloud9. I know those two words don't really go together that well, but I think you get the message that I was trying to convey.
You know, we get the idea. We get the idea. We can get the source out next time, and we'll figure it out. But
Caster, by the way.
Dignitas, they are maintaining a very even state across the board going into the way that Cloud9 have played, and Dignitas typically don't have a great lead at 15. But now, Dragon spawning, 10 seconds, both teams are ready to go, no teleports from the top laners. But Ornn's here.
He's ready to call the GOAT with the power of his horn. But Hoon says, okay, well, this turret is mine then, I guess. That's first brick as well for the side of Dignitas. Cloud9 do manage to bully Dignitas off of the Dragon, so this prevents Dignitas from steadily having a Dragon win condition super early on into the game. It is Hextech Soul, and that is one that Cloud9 are thankful they stopped Dignitas from getting accelerated on.
I do like the way that Dignitas played it, though. You don't want to take that 4v5 into Victor now that he's got a completed item, into Lucian now that he's on the Kraken Slayer. They make sure that they trade a little bit. They get Hoon that influx of gold, and Hoon becomes incredibly difficult to deal with on the split push. Darshan, for all we praise about his landing phase, is an okay split pusher, but it kind of doesn't matter how good you are at it when you're just going to be losing all the all-in in the side lane. So Dignitas setting themselves up for a very scary 1-3-1. Insanity in one lane, Hoon in another, and both of them fantastic flankers when they collapse towards the mid lane.
Exactly. It's not like they never ever want to group. They have powerful ultimates that can change the course of a team fight, either locking down one particular person in Frozen Tomb or Hextech Ultimatum respectively, and that means that Cloud9, they can't just be comfortable in taking the front-to-back fights, because if they're not checking their left flank or right flank as you called it out, they're going to be in a world of trouble.
Hoon, does he get this? I think he does. Watch his Q.
Boom! Yep. Nicely done. Precision protocol, perfectly timed.
Now, I am looking at one potential problem here for Dignitas, Mark. Can you guess what it is?
No.
Who the F is killing Darshan? Right? Hoon wins in the side lane, but if Hoon is diving onto Darshan, Cloud9 are laughing the entire team fight. So Cloud9, they have a very balanced composition, and with the lethality build coming through from spawn, yeah, Insanity has a Leandres, but he doesn't want to be hitting Ornn either. It creates a situation where Dignitas' teamfights are easy in concept, but difficult in actual play, right? You need to kill everybody else but Ornn first, and so while we said they have some good tools to actually come in from the side lanes to get these flanks down, now Dignitas are forced to do that.
Yeah.
They can't take these front-to-back teamfights, and that's something that we know Dignitas has done successfully in the past. But Cloud9 is so good at preventing people from making that play happen.
Destiny and Shaden looking over the wall to bait Insanity in. Forced to use the Frozen Tomb on himself, and the Tidal Wave. Great stuff from Destiny. It zones XU away from being able to salvage it for Dignitas, and Insanity is left to the wolves. Cloud9 not only get a kill, but also get to push in this wave, swinging a bunch of gold back into their side.
It's like a microcosm of what we were just looking at, right? We saw, it's so hard to find these flags going up against Cloud9 because they mark, they're ready. As soon as they see XU Destiny throws out the tidal wave, he can't get into the fight, and they're able to force a situation where they can have more people hitting one target. Now, Dignitas, they get the mid lane turret, they should be getting a crash onto the second structure. But Cloud9, I feel like I'm actually favoring them from this position. When we start looking at the next dragon, when Darshan is probably going to be around level 13, he's going to start getting these Ornn items to come through. He's going to start giving influxes of gold and bailouts to the rest of Cloud9.
I'm not going to lie, I didn't know how to follow up on that, so I just kind of let that point hang, for dramatic effect.
It's a Wild West out here.
Wow, wow. Banger song, dude. Banger song. At 18 minutes into the game, and as you said,
I let that one hang too.
It's always those moments in the game where we're kind of at a dead even state, which, quite literally, Cloud9 only shy 400 gold from Dignitas after a little bit of the advantage that they've been able to leverage themselves on. Without even having to call it out, our wonderful observer, Andy, is showing us the gold leads for what we have to really take stock and investment in. Shaden, a shy gold lead over XU. We already highlighted him being a major factor in being able to find resets in these fights, but it's also going to be about Hoon, who has received so much gold in the past few minutes.
Destiny, potential cave.
Bubble on the JJ, but he's a catfish, so he's used to the water. Not going to affect him too much. Yeah.
But Dignitas, this is good. They have the game plan right there, setting up for this dragon before Cloud9 already does have the teleport. He's teleporting right now, and so both teams have decided this dragon's worth the fight. When we are dead, Dignitas really wants to find a lead here before they get outscaled by Ornn.
15 seconds on this dragon right now. Hex Tech Gates, Hexu looking for a flank.
Flanking.
Did Cloud9 see it? Did you see the animation even through Fog of War?
Yeah, you will see something going through, but who also trying to flank, and Cloud9 is like, nope, we're gonna get this mid lane probably over there. And XU, I mean, Dignitas, they don't have like.
Let's see if Cloud9 can take this over. XU has been sought out by Shaden already. Cloud9, great patience at that they are trying to identify the flank from Dignitas before they get a chance to lock down the rest of the targets. Insanity caught on the right side of the flank. He's forced to flash away. Already used the Frozen Tomb to stun out one, but that means that he has to bail. Cloud9 now have advantageous positioning in this pit, but Hoon has found a way. The flank onto the bottom side. Darshan trying to catch him out, sees him there, but the dragon, it's going down. 2,000 HP. Shaden and XU, who can clip it out here? Call of the Forge God is coming in through. Massive knock-em on to XU, and it is Shaden that secures the dragon objective for Cloud9. Hoon onto the backline, almost takes out Destiny, but it's not enough damage even through the Hextech Ultimatum, the Precision Protocol. Rest of Dignitas had to burn through the front line, but XU gets burned down by King, and the rest of Cloud9 able to hold their own, not dropping a single member. It is them coming back with momentum, swinging back into the fold, and Dignitas are on the run.
And Cloud9 able to prevent the flags coming through. Dignitas not able to actually find the play. And as the dragon goes over to Cloud9, the scaling is kicking in. King still stands tall. We'll take another look at this. Hoon trying to find his way in, not able to go for the flank, and that sets up a very standard kind of front to back that Cloud9 want to go for. Hoon not able to participate in this, and Darshan able to create the space that they need. By the time Hoon gets in, King has been untouched this entire time. They can't get to him, and he's able to hit anybody who comes too close.
Yeah, even the Hextech Ultimatum target, even if it was a kill on the Destiny, it doesn't do anything for Dignitas if the backline in King and Copy are still pumping out damage undeterred by Dignitas' flankers. Just great stuff from Cloud9, being able to identify the first flanker in Insanity, taking him out of the fight, making it a 4v5, and then, as you already highlighted, Hoon can't do anything similar. So now this puts Cloud9 slightly ahead. It's not out of the woods for Dignitas, but as you already stated, what kind of were going to be the concerning things for Dignitas, they're coming to fruition now.
So you're getting caught.
Decoy
Pew.
He doesn't have flash, and Cloud9 have answered back for the early woes of Shaden falling to the outplay of XU. It is Cloud9 that rally behind their jungler, making sure that they prop him up for success as they now have control of the map.
And the difference that we're seeing in this game right now, Hoon really struggling to take down this turret, Darshan able to clear waves underneath, and it provides so much time, right? If this was a long lane, Darshan, we need to be even more scared.
Hoon can dodge the ulti with the Hextech ultimatum. There it is! Dodging out on the knockup, but Darshan! Oh man! Darshan almost getting the outplay completely by himself. King is there to make sure that he gets the revenge kill gold.
But you know what Hoon's looking at right now. He's saying, our team fights aren't working. I'm going to try and get these splits going. I'm going to try and make plays. Props to Darshan for staying alive as long as he did, forcing multiple members of Cloud9 to come down. But the fact that this turret is still standing gives Darshan much more freedom. Right, he's not worried about having to push up to get the wave taken care of. He can still hide underneath this turret, and Dignitas, they need to find some way. They need to make a concerted effort to actually take it down. Otherwise, this composition, yes, Senna scales infinitely, but Darshan rapidly becoming a problem for Dignitas to actually try and kill.
And it's quite a while before Spawn is going to even get to that point of being a threat for Cloud9. He's still sitting on the Umbral Glaive. I mean, this is nowhere near enough damage for your Senna to be really pumping out against the likes of Cloud9's current frontline at the moment. Hasn't yet completed a Mythic either, halfway to that point. So Cloud9, they're chilling right now in terms of whenever they need to take the 5-on-5.
And Cloud9, I want to continue being excited about Darshan, because just as we were looking at with Dokla as a returning player, Darshan is one of our legacy players here, and we'll get to that in a moment as Insanity gets caught.
Oh, Bubble. Uh-oh. He got the stasis out from the zone his hourglass, but JJ with the Devour is going to give him some time to breathe. Will come out back with the shield, forced to flash away. Already used the Frozen Tomb, but the King flank! King! I've never seen a marksman flank before, but he's making it work right now, flashing over the Abyssal Dive, but now he is suddenly surrounded by all three members of Dignitas who survived the encounter with Cloud9 Academy. They lose out on their bottom laner. Copy is still here for damage. Shaden was also taken on the fight, and do I dare say that Dignitas are saying, hey, Cloud9, you better come back. We're starting up this Baron.
Better come back, boy, and we'll see. Copy has his teleport. Darshan has the teleport. They want to complete their items before they actually take this fight. There's plenty of wards to teleport to. Darshan will be here.
Bubble does not connect. Copy can poke with Laser, but already used the Chaos Storm, so they're lacking a bit of damage here. Hoon is going to buy time, making sure that XU can cleanly get the smite without any contest. Darshan is here, is full HP Insanity on the Ornn, but here comes Insanity for revenge off the teleport. Glacial Path right onto Copy, and good night! Goes down the mid laner for Cloud9 Academy. Darshan, you said the question, who is going to kill Darshan? Well, if there's no backline there to supply him, then all five can gang up on him.
All right, Dignitas, I love the plays that they're making. They recognize that they have the man advantage. They recognize that King overplayed. They're going to be able to pick up the Baron. They're going to be able to pick up another dragon for themselves and put themselves in a situation where there's still play to this game. They haven't given up just quite yet. And suddenly, after a couple plays, remember when Hoon was fighting Darshan in bottom lane? He was 0-0-0. He has gotten 5 kills over the past couple of plays. He is suddenly massive, and we were looking at Darshan already having some trouble trying to split push against him. He's got an extra item ready to go now.
And this shifts the narrative for Dignitas of who they look towards. Spawn and King were the main characters that we were looking at to be the deciding factors of this game. Then we saw XU having some pop-off moments before Shaden turned that around. But now it's all about Hoon. Hoon is massive on this Camille. 3 items, he can split push, no one can take him out in the 1v1, and when he comes to the party in these fights on a good flank, Cloud9 have to scramble because he will just completely delete people now.
Turrets will disappear as well. I love the build coming through from Darshan. He had picked up the Warmog's armor in order to make sure that he can stay in these long extended fights with Hoon. But that doesn't matter now, right? You are just going to go down. Hoon has an opportunity to kill you. He's got 3 levels over Darshan at this point, and Hoon, I wasn't sure how he was going to look after he got manhandled by Dokla, but Hoon showcasing that he is worth the import slot that they've been using. He is going to drastically change the way that Dignitas play.
Honestly, shoutouts to Dokla for warming up Hoon. You know, he gave him the tough breaks, and then after Hoon, you know, got the good old beat up treatment, it's like, okay, you know what? It's kind of like in fighting games where you play against people who are much better than you, and then you learn from them, and you apply it to the next matchup of a equally...
The trading arc.
Exactly.
So, I mean, Hoon, very fast trading arc to come through. I like that it was just a quick montage, and we're already into the next season. But Hoon, now he needs to create pressure. Now he needs to create a situation where Cloud9, they can't actually play the front to back that they've been wanting to. The Ornn not able to do anything in order to create space for King and Destiny. And we saw when these fights become chaotic, King, he tried to dive multiple people on the backside. He tried to go for a flank. That's not the way you're supposed to play Lucian. That's not the way that you're going to find success when you have this composition. Though. It was hype. It was cool.
Yeah.
But it would have been cooler if it worked.
The hype lasted only for a short moment, and then suddenly reality came in when the rest of the Dignitas swarmed onto a flashless King. But he opens up with a call. Dude, that is some serious damage. And poor Insanity can never manage to choose whether he wants to use Frozen Tomb immediately or not, because once that tool is gone, then it opens up Cloud9 to freely walk in without any fear.
Well, Sandra, when you can't make those decisions, it becomes way less exciting. So Insanity kind of needs to play with the rest of the team, right? He's much less of a split push threat on his own. It really is down to Hoon. And to kind of check back in with some of the players who were looking at it, King has had, you know, with the one flanking mistake that he's made, accepted, he's had a pretty darn good game, right? He pushed around the bottom lane. He found the pockets of safety that we always look at. He had his linebackers and Darshan and Shaden making sure that he was safe. But Spawn, he's taking a back seat. He's just kind of saying, yeah, it's okay. I got a Kraken Slayer. I'll continue scaling. Don't worry about me. I just want to make sure that Hoon and XU have the opportunity to look good. And I feel like even though it's not the excitement that I was initially hoping for, it's still very important that he's able to play a variety of different roles on the teams that he's looking to play for.
Yeah, I've told you that Spawn is a really chill dude in person.
Oh, he is.
Yeah. I think that's like the personality just coming through. Like, he had his hype pop-off game on the Callista in the first game.
Okay, we're done.
And then he's
that
like,
was a bit much.
All right, guy. Yeah, dude, I'll play the Spawn, or I'll play the Senna. I'll just sit back, chillax, you know. You guys do your thing. Even XU was trying to be courteous and say, dude, I'll get a Black Cleaver. I'll shred the armor for these guys so that you can do damage. And Spawn's like, that's cool. I'm fine. Oh, well, JJ, are you fine? You're tanking on this Tom Kench. You already have Hoon on the backside looking for the flank. Huge re-engage from XU. Double Cyclone on the back line. And he's able to reposition over the wall with a good flash. But the rest of Cloud9 piloting around King right now, playing around the strength of their backline, allows King to be able to free fire without any fear. And they take apart JJ and Insanity without any worries whatsoever. The rest of Dignitas on the run. Can Cloud9 lock the stragglers down?
30 seconds left before the Baron, 20 seconds left before a Dragon. Cloud9 looking for stragglers. Hoon, will he be able to back away? Copy's going to check with a laser. Finds him.
Oh, Hoon with the tactical sweep, but good trap. Oh, Hoon? Does he get out here? It's King on the interception. XU would have to commit his life for it. Almost takes him out, forces King away. Hoon getting a lot of damage down. Don't. A trade for jungle and jungle. Hoon gets out alive, but just as I say that, it's the last Chaos laser from Copy that singles him out.
So Cloud9, they pick up the top laner, they pick up the jungle at the very end of the play. Now they have 4 members to 2, but with no smite. Do they want to try and flip this? Copy's going to back away, he's going to heal up, and King, he's got a Nami. They're going to be relatively healthy. They're going to start this up, and Dignitas, it's a reverse. It's on the other foot.
He's teleporting. Can he switch over to smite? Does he have the spellbook option available? It looks like it's only on barrier, so... Ooh, this is going to be close here. There's, as you said, no smite available for Cloud9, so it'd just have to be a damage calculation, and beautifully done by Cloud9. No way for Dignitas to be able to contest. Baron has been awarded to Cloud9.
But Dignitas, they do have members left on the map. Cloud9 happy with their prize, and Dignitas, they put themselves 1 dragon away from the Hex Tech Soul, one of the best souls, but Cloud9 not willing to let it go for free, but are they in time?
And Shaden can get over the wall with the Blast Cone. Perfect timing. XU, can he get in there? Oh, but Insanity secures it for Dignitas, and they get out cleanly.
So, we are back. we are back to a spot where Cloud9 can continue playing the game, right? We saw even when XU finds 4 or 5 members with the Cyclone, Dignitas can't win front to back. They can't do it, Mark. It's not a thing. So Copy, we haven't looked at him very much, but he is now in a spot where, just like King, he can stand behind the front line. If he's allowed to free hit as well, it's so difficult for Dignitas to do much. We are seeing Dignitas struggle to find these flanks because I think, with all of the credit we've given to them with their planning around neutral objectives, this isn't something that they've had a lot of time to integrate Hoon into yet.
And with the Baron buff on Cloud9's side, it prevents Hoon from getting the split push condition. Oh, good God! King completely deletes XU and Insanity off of the game, out of the rift, sending them back to the fountain. Good God, what was that damage?
That was insane, but that's the thing that we're looking at, right? Cloud9, they find the front to back. King and Copy not taking any crap coming through from XU. Sit back down. You had your game. It's our turn to play now, and they're looking to end.
All right, Dignitas, last miracle run comes in now to save it, but Cloud9 have all 5 members, and they've been beautifully playing around their backline for the past few minutes. They are showing it in full force and demonstration here, ladies and gentlemen. A clean ace across the board. Cloud9 answer back and tie up the best of 2.
And King standing up tall at the end of it. We propped him up as one of the 80 carries we were excited for. And here we see he made one team fight mistake and it put them in a really awkward position. But other than that, I feel like this game was everything we could have asked for from King. He was able to find all the pockets of safety. He was looking for a couple of his own plays. Maybe they could have been a little bit more dominant in the lane, but so far, King and Destiny living up to a lot of the hype we had coming in for them at the very beginning. Great game from the Oceanic bot lane and tying up our series 1-1.
Also, shout outs to Shaden as well, because I think the early game went a little awry and almost called back to some flashbacks for game 1, where XU was able to outplay Shaden. But Shaden, through determination and pure grit, still continued looking for plays. It didn't matter if the execution was always 100%. He still continued persevering through, and in the mid game found many ways to keep the Cloud9 leverage afloat alongside King and Destiny. So, once again, shout outs to the jungler for being able to answer back. This is all about growth. This is what Academy is all about, and we love to celebrate it here in full force. But for us, we're going to be taking a quick break. When we come back, it's going to be Sierra on the interview desk with Cloud9.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Verizon post-game interview. I'm sitting down with Destiny to talk a little bit about that 1-1 game up against Dignitas. First off, I want to talk about the first game and maybe what was changed heading into the second game, because it was quite a bit different than what we kind of expected here on the desk.
Yeah, after the game 1, we definitely realized that we weren't playing well, and coming into the second game, we needed to mentally reset and focus up. I think we had an uncharacteristic game, personally. I think we just weren't awake, to be honest. But yeah, I think game 2, we definitely turned it on.
Oh yeah, game 2 is definitely a lot better looking from Cloud9. And just in general with you and King on the roster, how have things been now that you're a full month into Academy with everybody on this team?
I think we have grown a lot within this month. It feels good to come back to Academy and play with these guys and to try build as a team. We've started a bit later compared to the other teams, but I'm very confident in our progression so far, and I think it's showing in our game so far. We have a pretty good record, so I think as the split goes on, we'll just continually improve and scale for proving grounds.
That's great. Well, before the game, we talked a lot about King in particular, so I just wanted to get your thoughts on King and just you two as a duo in general.
Yeah, Calvin has he's been one of my favorite ADs to play with. He's very consistent, and he's very adamant about what he wants and what he feels is the right way to play the game. I think him playing in LCS, he had, let's be honest, he didn't have the greatest showing, and he's the most disappointed out of anyone. I think he learnt so much from this experience, and I think he will show at this Proving Grounds. I think he's a really good player, and yeah, I love playing with him, and I hope we can win.
I mean, from what we've seen in Academy from him has been has been absolutely wonderful, but not the only ADC that we've seen some really positive things on. I would love to know your take on Dignitas and their bot lane in general, because Spawn in that first game had a really exceptional time.
Yeah, we definitely got gapped in game 1 bot lane. Obviously, the level 1 was a bit unfortunate, getting split mapped on. Yeah, we didn't play well. Credits to them, they punished us well. And yeah, looking forward to playing them against them again. I think Dignitas is one of the better academy teams right now. I think they're a good team. So yeah.
All right. Then going forward, there's not too much academy left, but I know you've talked about being disappointed in past performances and looking to improve. And I just wanted to get your thoughts on what us as just a fan base and on the desk should expect from you, from King, and Cloud9 headed into the future.
I mean, I don't want to be cocky, but I think if we don't win proving rounds, I think I'll be like majorly disappointed. I think we have a lot of potential to grow as a team. I think Dashan is like very consistent. I think Shaden has so much room to improve and become one of the best junglers for sure. I think Copy's been smurfing the past 2 weeks. And I think me and King we're just good, you know? Like, we're just good. We're here to win. We're here to get better, and we're here to make LCS. Simple as that.
Strong words. I like it. Destiny, thank you so much for sitting down and talking with me. Have a great rest of your day, okay?
Thank you. Thanks for the interview.
Thank you. All right.